Patriot Prime Reviews is a channel for adult collectors and may not be suitable for children under 13 years of age. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Patriot Prime here once again with another video review. But before I get started, I need you guys to do me a favor. If you're watching this video right here and are not a subscriber to Patriot Prime Reviews, please hit that subscribe button right now. It won't cost you a thing, but will help me and my channel out tremendously. Also, make sure and check out my sponsor, Toyhax.com. Toyhax provides label sets, upgrade kits, and display backdrops for Transformers toys of all types and generations. New for 2020, Toyhax is introducing the Toyhax Armory, where they'll be offering a variety of weapons for your favorite bots in multiple colors. Also this year, Toyhax is introducing Robo Points. For every purchase you make, you'll earn Robo Points that you can redeem towards a voucher for future purchases. Toyhax is a company run by collectors for collectors, so check out Toyhax.com and make your collection stand out from the rest. And tell them Patriot Prime sent you. Now, on to the review. The featured bot in this video is 1989's Generation 1 Classic Pretender, Jazz. Now, Jazz, hitting the toy shelves in 1989, arrived a little too late to appear in the animated television show, though he did appear animated in his television commercial, along with fellow classic Pretenders Bumblebee, Grimlock, and Starscream. Now, in Marvel Comics, Jazz didn't appear as a Pretender until issue 58. The absolute worst comic cover in the history of Marvel Transformers right there. Now, Jazz was killed in issue 50 by Starscream, and when Megatron kidnapped Ratchet, he accidentally teleported the deactivated bodies of Grimlock, Bumblebee, and Jazz to Cybertron, along with Ratchet. Now, this whole storyline is a really good story. Megatron is trying to revive Starscream of all Decepticons, and he was trying to do it utilizing Pretender technology. He had 3 failed attempts, so he had 3 blank shells set aside. As the story progressed, Ratchet snuck and put the deactivated bodies of Grimlock, Bumblebee, and Jazz in those Pretender shells, where the Pretender shells actually did a self-repair, in turn creating the classic Pretenders. A big battle ensued. Jazz, Grimlock, and Bumblebee were knocked outside of Megatron's fortress. An explosion went off, blasting Megatron and Ratchet through a space bridge, and that was a whole nother story. Really good one, look it up. And Jazz, along with Bumblebee and Grimlock, became resistance leaders on Cybertron. Later on, I believe it was in issue 60, Jazz and the other classic Pretenders had gone to the depths of Cybertron in pursuit of Bludgeon and his Mayhem Attack Squad, or it may be reversed. It's been a long time since I read that story. Anyway, they run into Primus. A battle ensues, and a stray shot wakes up Primus, and that starts off the whole Matrix Quest storyline. Now, in issue 65, it's shown where Grimlock, Bumblebee, and Jazz are sent off to recover the lost Matrix Creation Matrix. It's the Creation Matrix in Marvel Comics. And they run into Thunderwing. And Thunderwing kicks all the classic Pretenders' asses. And it happens off screen, more or less. You don't see Jazz again until issue 75, where he's missing his Pretender shell. And pretty much Jazz lasts until the end of the series with issue 80. So enough with the history of the figure. Let's take a look at Classics Pretender Jazz. And welcome to Patriot Prime Reviews. And I'll admit it, I like the looks of Jazz's Pretender shell. Normally, I can't stand the Autobot Pretenders because they all look like humans in giant space fat suits. I much more prefer the Decepticons, monsters, and creatures. Jazz, on the other hand, doesn't look bad at all. I've heard lots of reviewers compare him to RoboCop, but I think he looks more like Captain Power. Now, taking a closer look at the figure, the shell has some wonderful details. I mean, the details on this guy are amazing. He's got nice painted armor here on front. Lots of pockets. I mean, Jazz is loaded with pockets. He's got pockets here on the front. He's got pockets on his arms. You turn him around, he's got pockets there on his back. Really cool looking figure. Now, I do want to make note that my Jazz here has been enhanced thanks to a Toyhax Upgrade decal set. And if you want to take a look at me actually restoring this figure, take a look at the video link above. The Generation 1 original figure had a red visor, but the Toyhax Upgrade set gave him a blue one, and I think that looks much better. It's more Autobot looking. Now, as I said earlier, lots of great painted applications here on front that really look good, but unfortunately with the Pretenders, when you look on the back, there's no paint detail whatsoever. Lots of great molded work, but they really skimp out on the paint on the back of the figure. Though he does have a navy strap right there, and the back of his boots are painted, and I just now noticed this. He has a holster right here. That is so cool. Yeah, not on the other side. He has a holster molded in. That is awesome. Now, articulation for Jazz's Pretender shell. It's a Pretender. The only thing he can do is the arms can do a complete 360, and that is it. He also comes with two weapons. He has this large weapon that is only for the Pretender shell. See, it has the 5mm peg right there. Only the shell can wield that weapon, and then he has a smaller weapon that has the 5mm peg that goes into a smaller peg that the inner robot can wield. So we'll put that back in Jazz's hand right now. Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, I love the way the jawline looks inside the helmet. That is really cool looking. Taking the helmet off, face sculpt, it kind of loses something. And unfortunately, Jazz's head is suffering from helmet wear. The inside of the helmet rubs the paint off of these figures bad. This is pretty much every Pretender, the Autobots especially. I mean, it looks like skid marks inside that thing. But you can see right here on the hair on the front, scuffed up nose, scuffed up brow, hair's gone there on the side and the back. It's a shame that the damage, they just didn't think it through when they designed these figures. But fortunately, when he's on display with the shell or with the helmet on, you can't really tell. Now let's go ahead and get Jazz out of his Pretender shell. You want to take the helmet off first, and then you just simply split the shell down the middle, revealing Jazz, who is in halfway transformed into robot mode. We'll go ahead and get Jazz out, put the shell together, and place that off to the side. Now, once you have Jazz out of the Pretender shell, all you have to do is flip the hood up and collapse the legs, and there you have vehicle mode. And I love Pretender Jazz's vehicle mode. It looks great. Now, as I said earlier, he has been enhanced thanks to Toyhax, and what a difference this makes over the original Generation 1's decals. Those decals are really plain. This adds a lot of flair to Jazz. Vehicle mode looks really, really good. He's got free rolling wheels and actually rolls fairly decent. Mine has this wheel right there that sticks a little bit. The rest, very freewheeling. I mean, that's really about it for vehicle mode. It looks really good, and it's a vehicle. It's nice representation of Jazz. Now you can take the smaller weapon and using the smaller peg that right into the top of Jazz's vehicle so you can have a mounted weapon in vehicle mode, but that looks terrible. Now let's go ahead and get Jazz transformed into robot mode. Very simple. You're going to pull this section out, revealing the robot legs, and then right here you're going to get your thumbnail in and pull the doors out. Angle those up, revealing the arms, and as you saw, the hood flops down. Bert the Stormtrooper, for you, I gave Jazz nipple decals. So now, bring the hood down, and there is Jazz in robot mode. Jazz's robot mode is where this figure is weak, and it's all because of the hood chest. It's a very flawed design. I mean, look at this from the side. Jazz cannot see past his own chest. His head is sunk way down too far, inside this. This section right here should have come down a lot more. I mean, it pops right off. And if they could have designed it to come down like that, that would have been a very good looking jazz figure. Unfortunately, the way it's designed up and under here, and it hits those pegs right there, it just will not fold down, and that's what you're stuck with. That's what you see when you look at jazz straight on. I mean, when I set him down and he's at an angle like so, he doesn't look bad. Now, another thing I want to point out is I was able to find some Toyhax scraps and give Jazz here a gold visor. So I thought that was really pretty cool, because originally he just had plain white eyes that blended in with his face. I had to make him stand out just a little bit. Now, as far as articulation goes, Jazz's arms, if they don't catch that chest section, can do a complete 360, and they can go in and out very, very slightly. Joints on mine are really tight. I do like that. Now, of course, you can take the weapon right here, and the little peg will go right into the fists of Jazz so he can wield his weapon. Unfortunately, he can't see what he's aiming at. So there is Jazz in robot mode. And now for some quick size comparisons. Here is 1989's Classics Pretenders Jazz with Generation 1 Optimus Prime, fellow Classic Pretenders Grimlock, Generation 1 Jazz, and the fantastic Reveal the Shield Jazz. The Generation 1 Classic Pretenders Jazz is not a bad Pretender at all. The shell is fantastic. I can't rave enough about the shell. The inner robot is another story. Though it does have a great vehicle mode, the robot mode is just lacking because of that whole front end chest piece. Now, at this angle that my camera is set up, he looks really good. So if you're going to put him on a lower shelf, I'd say it would work. But my recommendation would be to display him just like this. So there you go, guys. 1989's Generation 1 Classic Pretenders Jazz. So, does a 1989 Generation 1 Classic Pretenders Jazz belong in your collection? This is one for the hardcore collectors, G1 completionists, Pretender, or Jazz fans. I mean, it's an alright toy. It's just not highly recommended. Love the Pretender shell. I love Jazz's vehicle mode, but the robot mode they could have done so much better with. So this is one I wouldn't really go actively hunting unless you really, really want the figure. Now, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified when I upload new reviews. Once again, this is Patriot Prime, signing out. Hoorah!